Woo! Hey, happy, Tuesday if you're live. And folks in Richmond, hey, happy Friday. Hope things are going well. I am the host today on King Biz Radio, ESPN 106.1 FM. I am Mike Asherbrander, professionally known as the Redneck Connector and proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business. Mike King, you are the man, brother. I appreciate you. Well, all you do to support your community and everybody. Man, it's an honor to be able to take this even bigger, going international and having some rock star guests. Cannot wait to bring these two people up. So tech people speak a totally different language. And these folks apparently speak hillbilly, right, and simplicity. So I can't wait for this, unlocking business growth through automation and simplicity. If you have an organization, one man or woman show, startup, scale up, small, mid-cap company, you got to pay attention. Get your notepad out, folks. We're going to roll and rock in just a minute. And Homer is the first hound in the house. Thank you so much, big dog, man, all you do. And there he is. I was getting nervous. Lewis Thickley. All right, folks, let's run this and get this on. Can't wait to get these people up here. Yep, I'm trying to find the buttons.
Looks like your business might be in a bit of a pickle. Don't you worry about a thing. You ain't alone in this. You're just a success story waiting to happen. Trust me on that. Every bump in the road is just an opportunity wearing a clever disguise. Welcome to the Hounds of Business community, where we don't just sit around twiddling our thumbs. Nope. We turn those obstacles into mighty fine stepping stones. This here's a place where high-level entrepreneurs and sharp professionals gather to grow their businesses and mindsets, kind of like how a good old gumbo needs the right ingredients to be something special. Ideas thrive here, and collaborations, well, they're as natural as sweet tea on a hot day. Success, it's a journey, and we're fixing to walk that road right beside you. Now, don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn for all the latest tips and insights. We're talking about the kind of wisdom that'll keep you ahead of the game. And while you're at it, head on over to our YouTube channel. We've got ourselves a treasure trove of videos, from expert interviews to webinars, everything you need to stay sharp in this fast-moving world of business. The Hounds of Business community? Well, we ain't just a network, we're a movement. So why not come on and be part of something bigger? Join us today and let's turn your business journey into a real Southern success story. Together, we'll achieve greatness. Just like crawfish and singing on a Friday night.
Hey, let's see if these folks know about crawfish and singing on a Friday night. Here we go. Andy. I messed up your last name. Help us now.
Warble. Just
Warble.
Ignore the second O. Warble.
There you go. And Rich Nazzaro. I can get that done.
You said it right. Most people say Navarro, or they put 2 R's and 1 Z, so you got it good.
Well, even a blind squirrel catch another every now and then, man. You know, I get lucky. All right. So how you guys doing? I love having you in the back. Yeah, I love having you in the Hounds of Business. Y'all been there for a while, kind of, low key, and now you just come out like the groundhog. So happy to have you. All right, so let's get started. Let's just dive into this.
Sure.
All right. So how did you guys have a background, right? Real impressive. You all get a little blushy, but I'm gonna gush on it because I want folks to know, get their notepads out, and get these glasses of milk that can help them today with their simplicity of their business, automations. Really get the real on this. So Andy, we'll start with you, right? You went with companies like Dell and Oracle, right, to helping small business untangle tech problems, right? Mm-hmm. So how did you do that and why?
How and why? Well, that's an interesting thing. So the how was that I started in the business trying to solve problems, and I was in marketing, and we had challenges and didn't have technology, didn't have any way of connecting the data and the systems together to say that, okay, the activities that we are doing here, what's going on, and getting them through to sales. And that's really where automation came in and completely transformed how we did business. And that was really the beginning of it, was using technology as that enabler to more effectively and efficiently do your job. And from there, it was like fire in the industry and certainly in my career. And so that's what we did for a long time, was just moved into consulting and helped people to put in the right processes to match the technology and just make a much more efficient, much more effective marketing organization. And then from there moved on into different parts of the business, really with that focus on always how do we use the technology to really just make the business more effective.
I can't see you as a corporate lady, man. I mean, I'm glad you went and got all that knowledge, but you feel at home helping, in your own business with Rich and working with small businesses, mid-sized business. Like you enjoy that, right?
It's so much fun. That is really what lights my fire, to be really honest, whether it's in a corporate environment or, with our customers now is, I just want to help people be successful, because that's really where the fun is for me.
Yeah, and you are. And speaking of fun, here's Rich, right? And by the way, folks on the radio, hey, go to SASBA, SASBA.com. And if you put a /HOB, you can schedule quicker, thanks to your HOB Hounds of Business Connections. All right. So, Rich, hey, if you want to add anything to that, man, because you guys have a big background, and now you help the people like us, and we are so thrilled for that.
Yeah, I mean, similar. I spent years in banking and then in tech consulting, as well as places like Salesforce and Dell. And I think throughout my career, similar to Andy, what we've always found is that technology is a great enabler to make people go faster, to automate, but it really serves a purpose, which is an outcome to grow your business. So when you're investing in technology or you're investing in outcomes for your business, it goes hand in hand, process and what you want to achieve and how the technology is going to enable that. And at the end of the day, all the data that is created through your business, from marketing, from your customers, from your financial systems, this all tells a story about your business, and accessing those stories in a way to visualize your business is the way you're going to grow it.
See, that's what I like about y'all, because it's like going to a therapist's office or a friend's house chatting about it. No, I mean, seriously, it's like, because these stuffy kind of formalities, and you get it done, but it's such in a relaxed way. Like you're actually trying to hear what the person's saying. Imagine that, right? So you're actually trying to figure out their fears, doubts, drains, all these things that are just not tech. Because even if you put in the best tech system, if they're not confident, not going to use it, then what's the point, right?
Right.
And I got
that's exactly right. And that's where it doesn't matter what the size of the business is. The problems look a lot the same, whether you've got 1,000 people or you've got 3 people. If you're not going to use your technology, if you don't have a process that that the technology enables, then bets are off.
Yeah. And what's scary about technology sometimes is, and we talk about this a lot, is the maturity of your business. So, you'll go and there's always a webinar about the latest technology and somebody's trying to sell it to you, and it does 1,000 things. And you're like, wow, that's like the Rolls Royce of technology. This will help my business grow. But you then take that technology and you're like, yeah, I don't need half of this stuff. And I just paid, $200 or $600 a month or whatever you're paying, and you're not taking advantage of it. So we always go first, where's the maturity of your company and where are you going to go? Because sometimes the free version is just good enough, right? And I think anybody who tries to sell you technology for the sake of technology is doing a disservice. I think you need to buy the right thing.
No, you hit the nail on the head. Here's the thing. It's not a cute salesy gimmick and, oh, well, let me hook you up. No, what y'all are doing, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, is what should be done. Is you're giving out what they need, because even if it's free, even if it's scaled down, guess who they're going to come to when they scale up, right? When they go from that lower tier need to a higher tier need. So you guys are farmers, not just hunters. That's what I love about it. That's why.
Well, and we like to think we're ethical business people. And so I don't think either Andy or I could sleep at night if we felt like we were gouging a fellow startup, small business, medium-sized business for just the sake of making a buck. We want tangible outcomes for your business. And so we want to be in it with you, to your point. We want to see you be successful, because that's also our business card, right? We want you to say, these guys made it happen. And that's going to get the next business and the next business. So I don't want negative reviews, and we'll do everything we can to help a customer and go above and beyond, because that's the right thing to do at the end of the day. Sometimes people make decisions about technology and you get into it and you're like, oh, we made the wrong decision. So let's fix that, right?
Well, on that note, what's the biggest mistake that you see a lot of the smaller business owners, right, making with their systems and processes? Is there a couple things that are common denominator?
There are. I would say the first one is not knowing quite what you're looking for. So, I mean, it is really, let's make sure that we've got a strategy. So we don't just accumulate tools without knowing, okay, what's the strategy? How do my tools maybe sit together? We really want to make sure that we're not building silos. And then the other thing, Rich mentioned something related to this, but when you're looking at features and you're like, oh, this tool does all this amazing stuff, that's great. But does it match actually what your need is, what your workflow is within your organization? That's some of the challenges that we see where it just, maybe it was a short-sighted decision. And now we've got to figure out, okay, how do we make the technology really work for us?
Right. The other thing I would say is starting small. So some people think like this technology thing has to be this overwhelming, really complex thing. What we would always say is figure out the thing in your business that is taking time away from you growing your business, and let's automate that. Because once you start clawing back more business for yourself, more time for yourself, then you can add it to value-added activities, right? So if you're updating this spreadsheet, let's automate it. If you have a passing data, to Andy's point, from your marketing funnel to your customer funnel, like automate those things. Renewal messages, anything that you think that you have to take time away from your day to not grow your business, automate it.
Yeah. And here, remember those old commercials where just okay is not okay? Remember those? Man, I'm showing my age now. Feels like yesterday. That's where, like, I got a guy, I got a tech guy, or I got a
right.
And I'm thinking, man, could you imagine? Hey, yeah, I got some kids. I got a wife. No, I got the best daggum kids. I got the best. And that's what kills me. I never heard people singing praises on a company like yours in SaaS. And I was like, man, that's why I love having you on the pack, because it's real. Yeah, you speak the language, you treat people right, and you know what you're doing. You come with a bunch of humble experience. So, hey, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Mike King. Mike King, ESPN 106.1, Mike King Biz Radio. Wow, man. Seriously, the way you push people up, you help organizations, you help businesses grow and thrive, man. Hey, it's like PB&J when they put it in the same jar 20 years ago. I'm still shouting about it. So, folks, if you're out there, don't forget to tune in to Mike King Biz. Check out his websites. I think he's got TV. I mean, the man's taking over. I hope he is, because we need more Mike Kings. But also, if you like to catch this on replay, folks, go to Hounds of Business on YouTube and LinkedIn as well. You can find me, Mike Asherbrenner, at Redneck1 on LinkedIn, or shoot me a carrier pigeon. Might take 7 to 10 days, weather pending, but I'll get it, folks. So don't do this alone. Building a business, growing it, scaling it up, hard enough. All right, don't do it without the people, resources, and support to get it done. All right, we built Redneck Camelot for folks like this. All right, so roll with us. All right, enough of that, because it's true, well earned. But let me get into this, because I want folks to know. And don't forget, go to SaaSBA.com. All right, go get the info. Y'all got some great articles. We pulled that out on the HOB last week. Yeah, some really, really good articles and things that are really good. I mean, yeah, so go get the free stuff. Because if their free stuff's that good, imagine what happens when you actually hire them, man. So let me ask this. All right, so folks that are tech challenged, how can entrepreneurs start with automation without getting overwhelmed? So if you got somebody who's starting off, maybe they hired a VA, things are coming in, they're like, oh my God, this was easy when I could just send out 2 emails. Now I got 25 coming in, right? So what are some easy tips that you guys to get people moving and in the comfort zone before they call you?
So I'd say start small. So I think you're right on with, have a VA, like figure out what are the repetitive tasks that drive you crazy, whether it's, following up on leads, or whether it's scheduling your calendar. Find what is taking your time, where you're not getting to the value that you really add to your firm. And then find a tool that just does that one thing. So start small. Start with something basic, and then you can always add on to that. So maybe it's just that, as soon as I'm done with the job, I want to make sure that we're sending a survey to understand what was your experience. Was it good or bad? Start with that. Start with, just any one thing. And so that's where we would say, start with that. And then the path to build onto it will make itself apparent. But don't get scared by, I don't know about these tools, and AI should be doing things, and automation, and I don't know, just let all that go. Get into, Hounds of Business. Ask somebody who's done it before to give you the step-by-step. Just get started, and then build from there.
Yeah.
Deep breath. I like that.
Right. And I think people do get overwhelmed. And I think that, especially in the world where AI is everything, everyone's like, oh, now I have to figure out AI. You don't have to figure out AI. You have to figure out your business and what's right for your business, because every business is different. And again, as we talked about, it's your maturity is different. Somebody else's maturity. You may want to grow your business 10x in the first year. Somebody may be like, I'm going to do a slow roll in the first year. So the technology needs and the automation needs are going to be vastly different depending on your goals and your objectives. And we've worked with clients who we've automated their entire business. Now they're like, hey, now we want you to look at putting this part of our business on steroids. So how do we just focus on this part, because we were able to cut out so much expense by automation. So one of our clients runs a business where they manage fertility clinic, and they manage the relationship between the sperm donor and the egg donor and the gestational carrier. And she was going to have to hire 4 more people because her business was very manual, dealing with doctor's appointments, dealing with medicine, dealing with trust funds, and kind of all this coordination that she had to have people manually do on their own calendar through cell phones. We put all that on an automation schedule with an automated calendar. She can now have full visibility into everything that's going on, but it's also all timed and scheduled based on that individual customer's needs, right? So now it's not a worry about somebody having to write something down and remember to get that appointment and put it in the calendar. It's all automated for her. So she was able to save 4 FTE to expand her business. So now she's able to continue to grow her business at the same cost level, right? So that means her profit margin's going up. But now she's looking at that investment and saying, well, listen, here's the other problem in my business. Since you're saving me money here, let's make an investment over here and build this.
Yeah.
Right. Now those 4 people can go do other stuff to grow the business and provide customer service and get 5-star ratings. And
Exactly.
now, so y'all must save her a lot of time and headache. And real quick, I'm going to plug this because people just think, we hear stuff all the time and we get numb to it. Listen, folks, Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody's got a plan till you get punched in the mouth, right? So here's the thing. I got this. I did the same stuff. I'm not preaching at you. I'm telling you, I'm the ghost of redneck Christmas future here. Listen, I got this. I can handle this. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Your wildest dreams come true. All kind of crazy business comes in unexpectedly, and now you got to catch it. So, folks, go to SaaSBA.com. Go have a conversation, because then when things happen to you and your business goes boom, you're not spending 24 hours a day trying to play catch up. Now hey, I'm gonna call Rich and Andy because I can afford it and I need it yesterday, right? Like this makes sense to folks.
Yep.
And
start small. You can always scale up. And I think that's just such an important message. Is it doesn't have to be fancy, but you got to start it sooner or you're going to be behind the ball. And to your point, when things hit, then all of a sudden you're like, wait, I know I've got that. And that's where we come in a lot, is people are like, I've got data. I've got all of my customer lists. I've got all of my prospect lists. I've got all of my, whatever the service level data is, whether it's physical product or services, but they don't tie together. And so if you can start clean, you will save yourself so many headaches, because we clean up when things go crazy. Right. And I would just say, just a little bit of getting ahead is going to save you so much headache in the long run.
Oh, it is. And we don't have time to get into how fast systems become obsolete, right? So even if you have a great system and you love it and, oh, wow, that now it might be obsolete. And you guys do this thinking for them, this strategic planning that is talked about, but
Exactly.
come on, it's not often done or done well. Or when I say well, folks, I mean customized. It's not a cookie cutter. It's not even a cookie cutter pretending to be custom. This is customized. And this is why I'm excited to have you folks, because people need that. Mom, that lady you just talked about, she don't have time and money to waste. This is her livelihood. That's how she puts her kids in.
And it's family. It's not what her business is. She just needs a way for her business to run more effectively. And now, they can do everything on their phones. It's just, it's such an enablement. And I think, Rich started at the beginning saying technology is an enabler. We got to we've got to treat it as an enabler.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's why when you talk about AI, people are like, oh, AI, what should I do? ChatGPT. I mean, we've talked about this. It's, listen, ChatGPT is great. Like write an email, write a lead conversion email. Tell me how to, get more customers. You can pump anything into ChatGPT and it will pretty much give you an answer about something. But if you're a small business and you're trying to figure out, well, where do I start to help automate my business? Like if you're a doctor's office, we can put voice AI. So imagine a voice assistant. So then your receptionist isn't sitting answering the phone all day. Maybe you have reviews on your website. So you're a plumber or you're a carpenter and you
window
need
washer. We have window washers as clients who literally, like, when they're done, they just want to say, like, did I do a good job? And for the people who, they did a good job for, great. Would you give me a referral? Because my business lives and dies with those reviews on Google.
Right. But what's interesting about AI is you can program it to say, hey, if it's a negative review, respond with, hey, I'm really sorry you had this experience. Let me give you a 20% discount off the next one. Or if it's a positive review, hey, we really appreciate your business. Thank you for promoting our business. That's time away where you're working with your next set of clients. You want to have personal experience and respond, but you may not have time. And at the end of the day, after you've worked an 8-hour day, maybe you don't have time to go through the list, or you don't want to, right? Like that's one of those value-added activities that you're still creating engagement, but the system's doing it for you. It's still your personal message, whatever you want to write, but the system is allowing you that time back.
Man, did everybody hear that? All the audience, they just woke up. I was about to grab a Snickers. I was like, hey, just take us home. No, I'm glad, because this is how y'all do business. I love it. It's so personal. And you give the best of both worlds. You have the big corporate experience and you know how all the pieces work. But you're able to translate that, relate that to, us up and comers, our scale ups, right? And even small and mid-sized business, which is different. It's a different process, oftentimes different culture, organizational tones. There's a lot to it. But you guys can cater to all of these. And that's what I think is most impressive. You could put the hat on and go to a major multinational, but you can also help that lady with 2 clients and 2 staff members, blow up. And this is why it's fun.
Right.
To Andy's point earlier is it's the size of the business doesn't really matter. You're always going to have certain challenges within your business, right? And at the end of the day, most of us, I think all of us, want to grow our business. We want more clients. We want to have that engagement. And, when you're a couple of people trying to grow to a lot of people, there are a lot of things that impede that growth. And so to your point, it's like, I can work 24 hours a day and kill myself and not see my family and not have a personal life. And we all know being overwhelmed causes health problems, stresses you out. It doesn't really benefit you and it doesn't benefit your company in the long run. And so if you're that tech person or that business who's overwhelmed and you're like working 12 hours a day just to stay behind, that's when you need to take the technology and let it work for you. And as scary as that step may be, it's a lot scarier to wait another year and be even more overwhelmed when you've lost a year of growth.
You're talking to me. Oh, you're talking to me. Don't be me, folks. SaaSBA.com. All right. So let me ask you this, Andy, I'll direct, because you just mentioned this. It's like you was reading my brain. All right. So Andy, for those people and business owners who do feel overwhelmed right now, they might not want to talk about it, but we know. What's the first step or a step they could take tomorrow morning to ease that pressure, other than calling you, right?
Yeah. So a couple of different things. I would say, the first steps that you can do is just get your processes right. And particularly, I think as we grow, one of the challenges that we have is maybe we, hire a right-hand person. And so now I've got two really smart people who are working on the same set of problems. That's great. But, there's a point where if you don't have a process written down, it's just a suggestion. And so I would say that one of the things that really helps is just getting an idea of for your core things that have to happen with every transaction in your business, write them down, get that standard operating procedure, because then, or that process, because then when you do try to bring in automation, whether it's a VA or whether it's a tool, you've got a roadmap already that says, here's what I want to have happen. Here's what the outcome of that is. Here's how we know that that particular task is complete, because we want that consistency, because that's really where your brand comes in. When you've got a consistent customer experience, you've got a consistent brand experience. That's where we start to really see the value in the brand and the business that we're building. So I would say start with just documenting what should happen, and that's going to lead you into where does the tool, or at minimum, where's your checklist that everybody does things the right way. And when you hire a third person or a fourth person, it's already there. It's really easy for you to direct traffic within your business.
All right. Hey, last question. It's on everybody's mind now. Should be. Hey, how can our community, listeners, audience, all the great folks in the comments, radio, if they're done wrestling with all this and start growing and automating, so how do they reach out? How do they reach you? And what can they expect? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I got to get all this crap together. So what can they expect, and where do they go?
Yeah. I mean, so go to sasba.com/HOB, and you can sign up for a 30-minute consultation with myself or Andy. And what they can expect is we're going to have a conversation. We're going to our initial conversation is usually about you. It's not about us, because it doesn't matter. It's to the point we've been making over and over again. It's this personalized experience that's about figuring out what makes your business tick and you tick and what your goals are. So to Andy's point, we're going to ask a couple of questions. Do you have processes written down? What technologies do you have? We're going to do a little deep dive into who you are and what you're doing. But ultimately, what we want to understand is what your pain points are and what your goals are, right? Because that's going to start formulating the picture of kind of where you are in your maturity, where you are in your company journey, and then where's the best place to start. And then we'll make suggestions about entry points that are not scary, that are probably starting off slow. There may be some things, to your point, is like, hey, here's our recommendation, do these 3 things. And that may be the conversation. And maybe you guys go off, do those 3 things, and then you come back and we have another conversation. But we don't want to overwhelm people with things like, you need a process map and you need all this stuff. If you don't have it, don't freak out. Like, those are the things we're going to uncover with you.
And that's why we called you.
And help you. Yeah.
They don't even know if they need a process map, probably. Right. Again.
Right.
Andy, real quick, you want to chime in real quick?
No, I was just saying the same thing. I mean, honestly, start with the basics. Business does not need to be complex. And the last thing we want to do is add complexity. We want to add something that helps you really streamline your business.
Right. And the rate of return, that's the thing. It's like, you could have hired 4 people. Good. I mean, now you got insure all these other expenses, but now you got, and you don't get rid of the people. Now they're just growing your business faster. All right. So I think the folks get it. All right. You guys are amazing. Love having you in the pack. Hey, sasba.com. And folks, listen, don't do this alone. If you're trying to figure out lead gen, business development, getting things done without all the silly stuff. Hey, Hounds of Business, shameless plug. Go to our YouTube, LinkedIn. In the comments, in the description, you'll find a group, Discover the Hounds group call. Hey, they're educational as well as entertaining. People are networking inside these things. Don't do it alone, folks. So Mike King, thank you so much. Rich, Andy, hey, sasba.com. Thank you all so much for coming.
Thanks,
Mike. We appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. We'll have you all back on as soon as possible. All right, everybody. Be safe. Have a great, weekend in Richmond.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.